Alright guys, today we're doing another hired request. This one is a song by The Killers, When You Were Young, the acoustic version. And it sounds like this. And so forth. Hello, I'm Sean Cheek. Welcome to my Easy Piano Lessons. If you've never This is the first video that you're watching of mine. I use a whiteboard to teach by ear songs, how to play the piano, and it works quite well for many people. So this is a hired request that someone hired me to do, and I have a big list that I'm going off of, and it'll be a couple of months before I'm through the list, before I'm taking any more hired requests. But the person that hired me for this one sent me a YouTube link. And that's what I'm going off of, is this acoustic version off YouTube by The Killers, When You Were Young. And this is the free part one I put on YouTube. You can get the rest of the song plus all 1,500 of my other videos on webpianoteacher.com. That's my website, webpianoteacher.com. The easiest way to get a hold of me, to check out what I'm doing, what I'm up to, is on Facebook. Just look for webpianoteacher.com on Facebook. You'll find my fans page. I'm also on Twitter as well. My name is webpianoteacher on there. Alright, enough advertising. Let's get to this. I have to do that. It is the way I make a living, so I have to plug myself a little bit. Now, we're going to start with the right hand on an E above middle C. Alright, and then we're going to go to G sharp and B after that. So the chord is an E major chord, E, G sharp, B, so you can just kind of get your hand in that position. Alright, and we're going to have a lot of sharps because that's the key the song is in, so I like to stay as accurate as I can. So we're going to do it in this key with lots of sharps, but and then we're going to go to the G sharp and B here, then we're going to go back to E. Now we're going to do that figure 2 times, that's why I have a 2 there, so it's okay, and then we're going to keep the G sharp, but we're going to make the soprano note, the top note, is C sharp. Okay, and then come back to the E, and then come back to the B. The B and G sharp, and then down to the E again. But notice the E and the G sharp remain constant on the bottom, okay? Alright, now on the left hand we have an E, and then a D sharp on the thumb. Okay? And that's going to make a major 7th chord. You hear that by itself and go, oh, is that right? It is if you hear that. It gives it that kind of jazzy sound. If we just put an E in there, it doesn't have the jazziness. Now don't hit the D sharp too hard. We want the relative strengths of all the tones in our chord to be correct. So not too hard on the D sharp when you hit it. So you just hold that. So that first part here is okay, then we move on to the next box. We have F sharp and A sharp. Excuse me. I always have allergies. They make me sound like I have a cold all the time. F sharp and A sharp. Then down to a C sharp on the thumb. Back to the F sharp and A sharp. And then to G sharp and B. And then we'll do a D sharp on the thumb. So D sharp. And then G sharp and B on the top again. We're going to hold that one just a bit. That's why I put the little dash there. And then we continue, but that note is held a little bit. Okay? The left hand we have another 7th D sharp to middle C sharp. Okay, right there in the middle of the piano. Then we're going to go down to do this 7th, G sharp and F sharp. And they sound odd by themselves, but in the context of the live music, it'll sound just fine. So we play this together, then this together, hold for a bit, and then D sharp. Okay, so we start here again. Okay, just straight chords all the way through, or straight eighth notes, or 16ths, however it's notated, but that rhythmic constant is all the way through. You want to kind of hit this one hard because it's a syncopated, it's off the beat. You want to accent those syncopated beats. So, and then we start with the D sharp again. Now, this is going to be a little different. Sounds a lot like this one, but the chord is different. So it's going to be F sharp and B together. Now I put a little dot here, and I have a little dot here. We'll explain what that means in lesson 2. It's kind of my way to notate a repeat. So when you get to the website and you're on lesson 2, keep in mind this board 1 where I put these dots because we're going to use that, alright? So F sharp and B together, then down to D sharp with the thumb 2 times. 1, 2. Left hand on a B octave. Alright, so we're going to do that 2 times. 1, 2. Funny, I can hear my kids in the garage. We've set up our garage as a little, kind of a movie theater. Projectors are pretty cheap now as far as projectors go. And we set that up in the garage, and I set them out there with a movie, turn on the air condition in the garage, and they're just set. They're watching movies and eating popcorn. I had to have some time to do my videos, so I put on Rango for them, so they're watching that. I don't know if you can hear that on the video, but 2 times there, 1, 2. And that is a B major chord. Alright, 1, 2. And then we're going to keep holding that. This goes with this bit right here, even though I had to do a different line. Okay, so they're the same box. F sharp and C sharp, back down to D sharp on the thumb, and then back to B and F sharp, and down to D sharp. So, neat. So put that together. Alright. Now, move on to this last measure. Okay. So we have G sharp and B, just like the beginning. Then we go down to E. Then we go back to G sharp and B. 2 times. 1, 2. So it's 2 times there, and then back to the E, and then back to the G sharp B. Hold it for a bit, and then the final E there. So it's ba 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 ba, while the left hand's holding the 7th, the major 7th. Okay, I love major 7ths. It's just a relaxing chord. You just want to relax when you hear a major 7th chord. Now, let's go all the way through it now. This is part 1 here. 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, and of course the rest of it, there are 2 more boards that I chalked full of notes. And it's on webpianoteacher.com right now for members. Facebook is where I am if you want to contact me. And talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoy it.